So, as I was saying, Railroad Tycoon 3 is my favorite economic computer game ever. The fact that it has to do with railroads is just like gravy on top, because like trains are cool, right? But it's all about the economics. I've done some videos before, and today we have held a vote, and I have to say the straw poll is like neck and neck between alternate history, USA, and Russia. There's lots of scenarios. There's this campaign where there's lots of different missions, and there's some extra scenarios here as well. And there's quite a few. All the ones in a sort of bluer color, might not really stand out, but like alternate US and coast to coast, those came with the coast to coast expansion. I don't have a lot of experience with those. I have actually played the Russia map a few times. And setting up the economy is actually pretty easy. The challenge is mostly moving some troops around and stuff, which to me is not quite as exciting. Honestly, I'm neck and neck, like they are within like a couple of votes of each other. But I have to say that alternate US, which I haven't really played yet, looks like it might actually have more promise to be fun. It does specify the scenario is very hard. Anyway, let's go ahead and start that in. We're gonna have one player. Can I rename myself? No, really? All right, I'm gonna be Sir George Stefan. I'm gonna go ahead and be on hard mode, and we're gonna give that a start. Yeah, train hat. You're right. I'm sorry, chat. Hang on. Alright, choo-choo time. Let's do this. The Poland scenario is actually really good too. Alright, welcome to North America, but not the North America you know. How's the volume? People said was okay, not too loud, that's good. You guys let me know if the like background stuff becomes too loud. But not the North America you know, but one that might have happened had the Revolutionary War never taken place. The United States never formed. Instead, a handful of lesser nations crowd the continent, including the Great Plains Union, an agricultural country located in the Great Plains where you will make your start. The Great Plains Union has ever been in a fragile position. Bountiful land, central location, but mostly rural and less powerful than her industrial neighbors. Your goal will be to ensure her survival by maintaining good relations with the other North American countries. As you buy rights into each country, you will be given a short history of the country and the goals you need to meet to improve your relations with them. Be warned, do not buy rights into a country until you're ready to extend your rail network into that country. Otherwise, you will be unable to meet that country's demand, and your relationship with them will suffer. Good luck! So our bronze medal goal is to have good relations with all country by the end of 1950. That's the other reason I like the scenario. It's quite long. We have 45 years, which is pretty long. Silver medal, so it's the same, but 5 excellence, and gold medal, everyone excellent. And that's it. We can't have any unconnected track, which is kind of inconvenient sometimes for building, but it's okay. Only one company, which never bothers me much. So we're going to call our company the Awesome Co. of Awesome. We are going to invest $100,000 of our own money in 1905. That's a lot of money, and that's going to result in $1 million of outside investment. Since none of our goals involve like personal wealth or like stock market manipulation stuff, we will gladly take all the money that we can. We're going to have to pick a logo, of course. I usually like something that's quite distinctive and easy to see. Something with bright colors a lot. I mean, you could just go train. I guess there's something to be said about that. Floor of the list is a little bit odd. Yeah, this one just looks like it's going fast. Fast logo. Yeah, we could, you know what, we'll call a train the Brussels Express. Alright, so, here we are. This is our world here that we're getting to interact with. I mean, obviously, it's North America, so obviously it's like the center of the real world in reality too, right? Everyone knows that. And if we go over to this screen here, we can see what country we have access to. So right now, we have access to the Great Plains Union. That's our country. And then our neighbor to the right, we have Louisiana. Right up here, we have the Great Lakes Confederation. Here we have the Roosevelt State, the Texhoma Republic, Republic of Arizona, Pacifica, Mexico, Florida is its own thing, Dixie is right over here, and New England, which is a lot of big cities, quite wealthy. We've got Canada is one huge chunk in its own. Accessing Canada would cost $10 million, so I don't think it's going to be something that comes up in this scenario. It's also not one of our goals, if I recall correctly. New England, Texhoma, Republic, yeah. So we have to make friends with everyone. Not Mexico either, right? Just the bits that made up the US. Yeah. So, and Mexico is also 10 million. Everything else is like $750,000, $250,000, $1.5 million, $1.5 million, $1 million, $2 million over here for Pacifica, and $2 million for New England. 1.5 there, so that's not too bad. So it feels like the obvious choice would be to potentially go into the Texhoma Republic, which only costs $250,000 to access. Potentially to Louisiana, $750,000 is certainly doable to start off. But to start, we're going to focus on our actual area in the middle here, the Great Plains Onion. So we've got Des Moines, Omaha, Grand Island, Kansas City, and Wichita fall under our purview. And Liberal, we could really, we can reach Liberal as well if need be. So, how do you play this game? How do you make money? Well, mostly you build track, you build stations, you move goods around, and that's fine. Now, what kind of goods? There's passengers, there's mail, and there's also troops, which is another special type of express thing, but then there's plenty of other types of goods. So, for example, if we go here to the grain view, and we look up over here, so we see a cluster of 3 up arrows and a couple of down arrows. So the up arrows over here, these are grain farms, right? Grain farm, grain farm, grain farm. There's also a corn farm over here. Now, if we look at what they produce 2 grain units per year, and they'll also increase their output 20% if they get fertilizer. And if we click on the grain, again, we get that view, and you can see these little cars here, they actually move on their own in this game. If you don't build a railroad, goods will still move. They'll just move slowly, and they certainly prefer the rail. And you can see they are automatically shipping grain west over into Omaha, because Omaha has a warehouse here which accepts both corn and grain. So there's a demand, supply and demand, and the color coding here shows pricing. Red is very low pricing. You can see if I mouse over here, the grain is only worth 19 per unit. And if I go down to the yellowish area here, it goes up to 74. So you could also go all the way up to green in terms of valuation. Some things will probably have that. If I go into, say, iron, no, livestock. Oh, livestock. Very high value livestock all over the place, for example. So ideally, your train routes will somehow provide an opportunity for goods to move from low-value areas to high-value areas, because you get paid based on the difference. You're not the actual person shipping goods exactly, but you get paid per car based on these sort of price differentials. So ideally, what you do is you find these places where, you can move goods from low demand to high demand, and that's how you make a lot of money. You can also invest in industry, and in fact, it's often one of the most lucrative ways to make money is to invest in industry in this game, right from the beginning in some scenarios. For example, if we go ahead and look at that grain again, so there's a massive concentration of grain over here, right? Tons of sources, and the only grain sink is over here in Tulsa. A tiny bit of a grain sink in Kansas City is probably another warehouse. No, it's a bakery. And then the warehouse in Omaha. But here, there's nothing. So one could imagine for the moment, like Wichita here has quite a lot of grain sitting around. The reason is it's easier for the goods to travel over a river than over land. So all these guys are sort of shipping here and then up to Kansas City. If we put a brewery in Wichita, which we can do, we can build that. If we put it there, it would convert all the grain into beer, into alcohol, which would, by itself, would turn a huge profit. Because if we go to the alcohol map, there technically is a supplier of alcohol in Tulsa. But that's really our only competition nearby. And by putting a brewery in Wichita, we would actually intercept all of that grain that's coming from the northwest. All of this grain would come to Wichita instead of making its way down to Tulsa. We would monopolize that, make lots of beer, and then we could ship it to Kansas City and make a fortune. The biggest issue right now is the fact that the brewery costs $2 million. Well, we could raise most of that. We can issue more stock in our company, and since we don't have to do any stock market manipulation this time around, I will issue stock every time the opportunity presents itself. We can also issue bonds, a big loan, for $500,000 each. The problem is, right now, if we were to issue it, we'd have an 11% interest rate, which is quite high. And actually, that would only bring us to about $1.8 million. We'd need under $200,000 to be able to afford the brewery. And I know from the start, our credit rating will not allow us to take out 2 bonds. We'll take out the first one, 11%. The second one, it will say, no, you're way upside down. So I think the brewery is a great idea, but I think we've got to wait to do it. I think what we're going to do to start off with is actually just build actual railroad. to start off with. We're going to connect Kansas City with Omaha, which should turn a little bit of a profit. And then what we'll probably do is run some rail to maybe both Des Moines and Wichita. And then maybe save up to $2 million, build our brewery. And then we'll be like rolling in cash. Just sick amounts of money. And then we will expand into, well, probably down south into the Texhoma. Texhoma is huge. It's got a lot of pretty big cities. Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas, very big, Lubbock, San Antonio. Yeah, wow, Houston's massive. So going south seems like a really good way of doing that. So I think what we're going to do is get this started. So rail, I can build single track, double track. The trains, there's automatic, there are sidings that exist regardless. So even in a single track situation, trains can pass each other in opposite directions. The problem is that it's not as efficient because one train will slow to a stop, let the other train go by. So by double tracking, you do go faster, but generally speaking, I just do single tracks anyway. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. We can choose what type of bridges we like to do because of what year we started in. We can start with the iron bridges, which are cheaper than stone, but almost as good. So we'll probably have that as a default, and the amount of tunnels and bridges we build will be more or less standard. So I'm gonna do is start the rail rather like that. And the other thing you'll notice when you lay out the track itself will be color coded. It's mostly green here because we're in like plains, right? Everything is really flat. If we ever went somewhere like here, you can see there's a red bit. That's because there's a hill here. So going downhill, the trains will go a little bit faster. But going uphill, they'll go much slower. So you generally want to avoid anything that's red, especially early on because your trains are kind of the suckser. So Omaha here, what I'm actually going to do, I have to keep building connected. I hate that. I actually really like to start from the other end sometime and then combine together, but in this scenario, everything's got to be connected together. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to leave Omaha for later. I guess I'll put tracks probably like that is good. Really? I really can't continue? That's going to be really bad. Because Des Moines, I mean, I guess I can sort of cut through here in Grand Island. I guess I could put all the connectors to the south. It's just a little bit awkward that, like, it's complaint because there's, like, kind of a weird, like, water in this building in the way. You can bulldoze buildings if you want to, but it costs money. We're not going to worry about it too much. Let's get started. So I need a station at both ends. You can choose your station size. Little, like this is big enough to connect Omaha, technically speaking, and run passengers back and forth. Most goods will still like travel, even if they're not in the area. I'm not sure about housing, though, and I'd like to try to grab as much housing as possible. Without bulldozing a house, I'm not going to be able to put the large station in a useful place. I'll just use the medium station. It's going to be fine. What is this thing? That's a retail building. Okay, we'll put it here. That'll be fine. And then down here in Kansas City, which is massive. See, and this is why I like to like sometimes plant the track differently. Kind of would have liked it on the other side. Oh, I don't know. The advantage of doing this, it actually grabs a bunch of stuff that's in another country and will suck that in. Any incentive to do small? No. We're going to do a big one in Kansas City. Like that. And we're going to start and build a train right away. So we've got a different set of trains available. We could do the 2D2, which is an electric one. We didn't lay down any electric tracks, so we're not going to do that. The Camelback is sturdy, but ugly. 8-wheeler is pretty. It's a lot more expensive, though. Camelback is actually faster. So the fact that it's ugly has got a 15% penalty on passenger revenue, which definitely sucks. We could go to a 10-wheeler. This is 20k more. It is faster, assuming there's not much of a grade, and we're pretty flat, so the 10-wheeler should be faster. It's got the acceptable passenger appeal, which means no penalty. No bonus, but no penalty. Slightly more maintenance as well, but I think it's probably going to be a decent idea. We're going to run it from Kansas City to Omaha. I could allow up to 8 cars, which I think could actually be okay here, because again, it's flat, so I'm not too worried about the extra weight. think that's going to be fine. So it's going to start in Kansas City. It's going to, and what it does, it automatically loads up, because of the settings, it'll automatically load up whatever's most profitable. I could force it to carry a specific type of good, although it will still only carry it if it's profitable to move it from one place to another. It will never sort of move uphill, or I guess downhill price-wise. It will never move goods from a high-value location to a low-value location. But I can sort of like encourage different things. But the any cargo, especially at this point, is going to be fine. It's picking up 2 loads of cheese, and some sugar and some rice. Cheese, interesting. First, let's take a look at our milk producing. So there's milk there, and then there's some sinks here. What are these? Dairy processors. I wonder if it would have been worth buying one of them. 1.1 million could buy us a dairy processor, which makes money, and is only going to make more money as the game goes forward. Interesting. Now, we need some water towers. I think in this situation, I'm going to build one at the start and build one at the end, and you'll see why that is. We'll also need a maintenance station, but don't need that quite yet. So we'll hit play. So we'll start moving from Kansas City. Let's go and lock the camera. There you go. It's going to load up some goods here. Boom. It's going to take off and make its way over to Omaha. I hope everyone's having a good time. We could build a second train, but I don't think there's going to be quite enough demand for it right now. So what I want to do is run this back and forth a few times, hopefully make a few bucks. The first couple of train trips are always the most profitable because there's a lot of goods usually piled up and large price disparity between the two. So we just made 108K there. We should make good value going back as well. Fast forward. See, it's only grabbed 5 cars. I'm allowing it to grab 8, but it's only found 5 profitable cars. A couple of milks, passenger, grain, and livestock. And yeah, certainly if we can keep bringing milk down to here to the dairy processor and then ship the cheese back, that'll be pretty good. This carload's only going to be worth 64K, so which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. So I'm going to run until January, hopefully turn a little bit of a profit, issue more stocks, and then hopefully our credit rating will improve and we can get a slightly more affordable bond, and then we'll try to connect another city up. So, yeah, 59K by the end of it, because it does lose value along the way. And see, it's only picking up 1 load of rice, not even 100% full, going back and forth. So that does happen. But, you know, it becomes less of an issue. Once you get a bigger network, then there's more goods consistently moving around. Kansas City, milk, grain, and livestock. Well, at least that counts as something. And we're paying overhead on our track, our trains, our stations. So right now we're really not turning much in the way of profit, which is another reason the industry is so good when you start off. But that should be okay. Stock price should go up a little bit, maybe. Shipping nothing from Kansas City to Omaha. Empty. It's pretty miserable. We could change it to force it to always at least bring 1. So it's the end of the year. Our investors are somewhat pleased with my performance. My salary is $10,000 a year. So yeah, our revenue, our profits, revenue per load mile. Check out the income statement. So yeah, it's mostly from freight, which is to be expected. Later on, the express revenue will increase a lot. That's your passenger and mail. But I mean, until you get like a network set up where they can travel from, you know, they can travel from Toledo down to Santa Fe, kind of thing, then you're not going to have as much of a passenger load as you would like. We should be able to ship more stock, and we do. And our credit rating has not improved, which is a real shame, because we really have to expand. I was really hoping to shave 1 percentage point off of that, though. Let this one load land, but I think we might just be forced to take out an 11% loan. See if there's anything good going back the other way. Nope, nothing at all. Alright, we're going to have to just suck it up and deal. So we'll try to connect up to Des Moines. So we've got a bridge, which is always very expensive. Looks like we're going to have enough money, which is going to be good. I just have to decide how I want to come into the town. Looks like it doesn't really matter. So let's go a little bit north. And then come in that way. Looks like this terminal is going to be great. So we're going to get another train. We'll get another 8-wheeler. No, another 10-wheeler. We're going to go from Omaha to Des Moines. Allow maximum load, although again, it probably won't. Actually, scratch that. We're going to go from Des Moines to Omaha. We're going to feed things in there as quickly as possible, because it probably doesn't have that many goods sitting around. We'll buy that train. We'll drop in one more little water tower, and we will put in a maintenance shack just outside of Omaha, because these trains will have to get maintained, get their oil topped off, that sort of thing. So from Des Moines, we're getting passengers and a lot of grain and corn. Alright, which is fine. Yeah, see, this train is complaining that it hasn't had any maintenance, so it's out of oil, so the chance of breakdown is going to increase dramatically, but it's about to be served. San Francisco has been leveled by an earthquake. This is very apt, because I believe there was an earthquake in California this morning. I think about 5.3. Not a very strong one, luckily. I mean, it's decent, but not apocalyptic. So hopefully everyone is okay. I think there was an earthquake. I think I saw that on Twitter. This game does have multiplayer, I believe. Someone's just been asking. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so now the hope. See, now we're bringing a real load of stuff to Kansas City. Milk, grain, and that's it. Now that we've got 3 stations going on, there's a lot more potential for productive and valuable loads to be shipped around, because there's just more supply of stuff. You can see everything that's waiting here, you know. And if I click on the station, it'll tell me everything that's currently at the station. Like, we've got tons of livestock here. There's currently no demand for livestock. Oh, there's a warehouse, so that's why it's being shipped here, but they've got too much. We could put a meat processing plant in Des Moines, and it would probably turn a profit. It would be competing with the warehouse, but not that much. The warehouse can only take in so much, and we could put it just on the other side, which would actually help it capture the cows first. Just out of curiosity, how much would a meat packing plant cost? 2.4 million, so it's even more expensive than a brewery. Wow! So now the question is, are we going to expand to another town, or now save up for an industry? So it would probably cost us another 800,000 or so to get to Wichita. I mean, I guess we can ballpark it here. Well, it looks like, so yeah, 600k or so would get us the track there, 100k for the station, 100k for the train, plus a couple of maintenance things here and there. So, you know, maybe bookmark 900,000, and that would get us into Wichita. So we actually lost money this year, but overall we should be moving in the right direction. We're triple C now, which is not good. Our credit rating has dropped. And this will happen sometimes, is you will get a false start. Because, you know, maybe you made a slightly wrong decision as to which town to start off with. Also, the industries are randomized, and right now I'm not really feeling a lot of the trade. Hopefully it'll go through. That's a lot of livestock being dropped off, though, so that's something. Hello, lowercase RHO. Thank you very much for subscribing. Okay, yeah, we're getting some decent goods here. Like, our trains have value now. 135k. It's good. Oh, and we were running a dividend. Hold on. Get rid of that. So dividend is where you pay out a certain amount of money to each shareholder. We don't care about that. So we are going to cancel that and keep more money in the company. We're also going to issue some more stock. Now, if we upset our shareholders too much, we'll get fired, but it's pretty uncommon. Only 15k, despite that's a lot of livestock. I guess just not a really big price differential here. Bit unfortunate. Triple C. Could be a false start. We might have to restart the scenario, but we'll hold out. I could go. Well, now we're getting smaller loads. Definitely a shame. What's the economy like right now? It's normal. It'd be nice if we hit just a little period of prosperity. Would be brilliant. Yeah. Turned a profit this year. Board of directors is happier. That's good. Back to a double B. Would be another 11% loan, which I really want to avoid. I mean, sometimes you gotta just make that choice. You just gotta, like, go for it. And taking out bonds is really good. Like, if you can get 5 or 6% interest on your bonds, like, I take out as many as I can get. Yes! Okay, that's really good for lots of reasons. 1, the prime rate goes down. 2, we're gonna, because if I issue a bond now, it's already 9% at double B instead of 11%. But then also, I'm gonna be just making more money for every load, which is going to further increase my credit rating. Right now, that's my entire goal. Also, our stocks should naturally go up, which means when we issue stocks, we'll get more money. So revenue per share, It's currently going down, but that's the thing that will change. Because we're in prosperity, we'll get more revenue on every load, hopefully. It's tough, though. They're still not making a whole lot of money. Yeah, the stock prices are pretty damn low. Boom, times ahead. Oh, wow. I should have waited 2 seconds before I dropped off, bought some more stocks, or sold some more stocks. So this should... We only have the 2 trains. But, triple B, we can get 7% loans, which is absolutely what I want. I could probably take out a pair of loans. The second one will be more, definitely, but we should be able to get 2 loans, which should allow us to get to Wichita. That's a lot of interest to pay off. But if there's ever a time to, like, get one of the, like, good loads from a new town, it's during boom times. 10% is bad. But we got to do it. So, relatively flat, I would say. And we're going to try to come down a little bit lower, so that way we can come through Wichita, because we're going to want to expand through it. Going to do that. Another water bit here. Load from Wichita to Kansas City. As many as you can. I suppose I could lower this, and that way it'll stick to just like doing the like more profitable loads early on. But no, this is fine. We're gonna grab a bunch of stuff, bring it into Kansas City. This load's gonna be worth 132k, which isn't bad. Plus, it just adds more stuff to our system to keep like shipping through everywhere. Now, I could make do with fewer trains, especially right now. The trains are not being overloaded. I actually could have saved money by having the route be Omaha to Kansas City to Wichita, then back to Kansas City, just on one train, which is actually normally what I do. I forgot about that. At this point, I would definitely be running 2 trains, but I probably wouldn't be running 3. Should be alright. Stock price not doing well, though. We might actually go bankrupt. Can happen. Net interest. I mean, the thing is, usually you play it where you grab the industry first, but it's so boring. You do nothing but for the first 2 years except watch your brewery make cash. Still, might be a good idea. Oh, look at this load! 346k going from Kansas City down to Wichita, bringing cheese and grain. Those are the dairy processors, and they should continue to make good money overall. Yeah, see? We could have bought them when they were cheaper. You can still buy this one, which is interesting. Because it's not being supplied by much. Boom! Huge. Stock price just shot up as well. Because we're actually turning money. We're loading a bunch of livestock. It'll be another valuable thing. We're moving a lot of livestock around. I would really like to save up to 2.4 million to get a meat processing plant going. If we can stay in boom for like another 6 months, I think we're going to be just fine. They did say this is a hard scenario, and we are in a hard difficulty. At this point, I'd actually would have liked to access Texhoma. I don't know if it's worth going to Liberal. It does have more demand for livestock, which we can make money. Look at that. We just made $650,000 in profit this year. We got a pay raise. Good stuff, and we got tons in the bank. We can maybe issue stock? Yeah, at a huge share price. Like, look at the shares. They just went nuts. So we can issue this, get a bunch of funding that way. I'm not going to issue a bond. I'm actually considering repaying the 11%er, but no, I think expanding is smarter now. We might... Will it tell me sort of ballpark? No. If we did take out another loan, it'd be at 7%. You know what? I think we're going to expand down into Tulsa right now. I'm worried that we're going to be given a quest and we won't be able to meet it, which would certainly suck. But no, that is what we're doing. Boom, Texhoma Republic. So it should tell us some facts about it in a second and give us a more specific quest. Welcome to the Texhoma Republic. Capital is Houston. Official language is Spanish. The Texhoma Republic gained independence from Mexico in 1836. Since then, Texhoma has built a solid economic foundation with its cattle and oil industries and has emerged as one of the more powerful nations in North America. There's a lot of cattle sinks in the Great Plains and potentially a lot of cattle sources down here, which is going to be really good for us. There have been ongoing skirmishes with Mexico regarding everything from border disputes to our attempts by Mexico to reclaim their lost territory, but so far, Texhoma has successfully defended themselves. In order to improve relations with the Texhoma Republic, you must haul at least 25 loads of grain to its cities every year. If you don't haul at least 5 loads each year, relations will worsen. Alright, that might be a little tricky. We're going to have to potentially, like, get some specific routes going to them. I wonder how we're going to get out of Tulsa here. Alright, let's just build it to here for now, and then drop in clearly a large station. Can get a maintenance yard here, water here, and our trains. See, our trains are going to be more and more consistently full. Early on, you can have a train service more things, but now I'm going to keep doing these little local direct routes like this. We'll stick with the 10-wheelers for now. We might get a better engine later on. Get that started. Now, ideally, we're shipping grain to here. So let's take a look at our grain map. That's our quest. Now, there's a grain sink. They have a brewery already. Okay, which is actually going to make us huge amounts of money if we can ship grain there. Also, this warehouse wants grain. So the warehouses here all want cattle, which we are going to get from here. Cattle. Oh, it's livestock. Derp. Livestock. Yeah, okay, so there are definitely things we can do. But more importantly, with the grain, we need to make sure that we are shipping to Tulsa right now. Which shouldn't be a problem. I think a lot of it's going to end up in Wichita and go down to Tulsa. One thing we're going to have to make sure is to not build a brewery in Wichita, because it would have been a great place for it, make lots of money, but that would have meant not shipping grain down here. So if we're going to do anything, we're going to build a second brewery potentially in Tulsa at some point, and just really drive the price of grain high here to encourage shipping to down below, which should happen relatively naturally anyway. I don't think we're gonna have to do anything special. I think it's just going to happen. But I think I'm gonna build an extra train from Kansas City down to Tulsa, because I think in general it's going to be a relatively profitable run. And this will help ensure that we get grain that first time as well. Yeah, so we're more carloads of grain. We have to get at least 5 every year or relations will get worse. If we get, what, 20, then they will improve? So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, and we got to repair that. We got a bauxite mine near Portland. Well, we're very far from Portland, so that's not really going to affect us right now. Monies, yes! Yeah, that. Triple B, it's not terrible. Good stuff, guys. Choo-choo. Towns and cities have stopped accepting unprocessed oil and coal. You must now ship these cargoes to an electric plant or oil refinery. Okay, yeah, so houses won't burn oil or coal directly to heat their houses. Doesn't affect us much. Not right now. It does affect, like, if you were shipping from coal, you would change somewhere else. You would have to maybe make sure to build a building. We definitely do want to build a meat processor, probably in Wichita. Which is already going to be supplied locally pretty well, but is going to also accept a lot of goods from other places pretty damn quickly. Like, it's kind of annoying that there's already a livestock sink everywhere. Oh no, I talked about Des Moines. Yeah, Des Moines is still probably the best thing. Put it right over here. The Atlantic 442 is only 90k. Looks sharp. Good speeds. Oh yeah, we're going to be using this from now on. I'm not going to replace my current trains, just because they're not in that terrible of shape, but we'll have to double check on them once their breakdown chance gets a little too high. Ooh, this one's actually really high, right, because it ran without oil for a long time. Very high breakdown chance. Over 50%, which is really, really bad. You know what? Let's replace you with the Atlantic right now. Boom. Which also runs faster. At some point, we'll set up some expresses as well. I'm actually wondering about doing a train from Des Moines to Kansas City. It would bypass some of the Omaha stuff, but it might be okay. We'll wait and see. I'm going to repay the 11% bond. Because I can turn around and reissue a lower price bond. Again, I would like even lower than this. I want to do it during boom time, though. Fertilizer factory near Omaha. Hey, Viper7273, thanks for subscribing. So they want chemicals, and they will output fertilizer. We hauled 8, so we got neutral status there. In an effort to spur our ability to export grain, the government has fronted the money to build a number of grain farms in the eastern part of the Great Plains Onion. That's great. Awesome Cove, awesome stock is split 2 for 1, so that's great. So every person who owned a piece of stock now owns 2 pieces of stock. Just keeps the price sort of below 100. We got a pay raise, which is good. We can actually buy some of our own stock just for the lulz, which boosts the price a little bit, which means when we issue stock, we get slightly more out of it. We've got a AAA rating during boom times, only 6% interest rate. We'll do that. We'll repay the 10. Take another one out at 6. Take another one out at 6. And we'll wait on the 7. Okay. So, actually, I would like another one so I could build... Right, the meat processing pack takes 2.4 million, which is a little bit too high. Yeah, these grain farms, so a bunch more popped up, a bunch more popped up. I'm thinking we might run a train from Des Moines to Tulsa. In fact, I think that would be a smashingly good idea. We're going to have it just pick up freight and be a low priority train so it doesn't interfere with any express traffic. Oh, it's... Why is it shipping livestock from Des Moines down to Tulsa? Weird price differential there. Now, I could have set this train to specifically do grain, which I suppose if I'm quest focused would be important. If I'm profit focused, this is better. No, wait. I'm going to just expand right now. There's no... Wow, this grade is terrible. There we go. We'll do something like that. Actually, we might not... Well, we'll probably have one going from Oklahoma City to Tulsa. But that might not even be our priority to start off with. Because, again, we're just trying to get more, like, grain and livestock and things shipping in different directions. From Wichita to Oklahoma. Corn, sugar, grain. Good. And yeah, we may as well do that. It'll be a profitable run. At this point, everything should be more or less profitable. That's a lot of diesel. What do we have over here? Steel mill. Warehouse that wants grain. Oil refinery. Do we have oil? Yeah, lots. 3.3 million to buy that. What else did you have that I was looking at? Oh yeah, the steel mill. So coal, there's not much of a source of coal nearby. There's a little bit, so we'll make a profit turning that. We could buy it for 1.7 million because it hasn't been profitable all along. What about the iron supply? Pretty far, although trickling in. I think this would very quickly become a profitable industry. It's not right now, but soon. So... Spent all the money I was hoping to put on a meatpacking plant, but that's alright. We should turn a pretty good profit here. Oh, Tulsa. You are not getting water. There's water there. Is there not water over here? There is. We might have to put a little water stop in. No, that's silly. Should be fine. Probably just ended up going slow. Oh, that's a low priority train. There's a water tower here. Oh, just skip that way. That's right. The one going from Des Moines down there just skips this water tower entirely. Drop that in there then. And there's a water tower. Yeah, this should all be fine. Oh, it's going to Wichita from here. So yeah, having this extra water tower is going to help. Because the trains go really slow when they run out of water for their steam engine. Because they have to basically like stop and then refill it from like creeks on the side of the road. trains. We have 1.8k people. We have 1,800 people watching some dude in a train hat play a train game. I love the internet so much. So much. Alright, so all these routes where they're consistently shipping 8 cars, to me those are valuable, or those are candidates. Why is this not getting repaired either? Because it's skipping a lot of repair places too. These are candidates for having basically their route cloned. Yeah, we're not really shipping the grain down here. I think we're going to have to make a specific grain train. Let's do it. Although I say that, what's it gonna... I guess we're gonna have to, like, be a little bit more specific. So, you are gonna ship grain from Des Moines to Tulsa, and then on the way back you can grab absolutely anything. And you know what? We're gonna throw just 7 cars plus a caboose. Because it's a long trip, the caboose helps reduce the breakdown chance. Only 2 grains, that's the problem. It's not really turning a grain profit. It's not profitable to ship grain that much. Still, it's going to try its best. I wonder if I should have a few more of those coming here. It's not really piling up anywhere, though. It's mostly trickling down on its own, which I think is part of the problem. Actually, I might want to do something like this. Have, like, a grain local. Some little depots here. I think that makes sense, actually. It's the grain train! We'll have that one go to Oklahoma City. So, first set everything to be grain everywhere with a caboose. Except Oklahoma City. You're really not going to be shipping anything back. Anyway, if you happen to have anything managed or like profitable, you can grab a couple of whatever on your way back, but it probably won't be. Okay, so the Kansas City Junction, the Wichita Junction should get some grain, ship it to Oklahoma. We got a military depot near Savannah, Georgia. Okay, the boom is failing, or falling, that is fine. We can still issue some stock. So we can still get 7% loans. And I think it's time for putting our little meat processor there, because we're going to be rolling in the cash. 8%. Get us 2.4. Get us 2.4. Come on. Get it. Just get. There it is. Pause. Before there's an expense that hits. Meat packing plant. Just northeast of the warehouse that accepts livestock. So we'll get first crack at the beef, turn it into food or meat that we can then ship and turn a pretty big profit over. So it can convert 4 per year. So it should very easily hit that number, in which case we'll want to upgrade and make some extra cash. It should make us pretty good profit. Doesn't help us necessarily on the quest immediately, but there's going to be some serious cash being made there, and then we'll be able to do a lot of other things much, much better. Getting some train breakdowns. What's the breakdown rate? It's relatively high. Really high here. It's time for you to be replaced with an Atlantic. Congratulations. You're so much better now. Meat packing plant, yeah, 1.4. So the cattle should end up in here. Yeah, we're going to want to upgrade it as soon as we can afford it. Economy slowing, that's fine. Now we've got a really good financial base. But we do have a time limit. We have until 1950 to make everyone like us, since 1912. We've been playing 7 years already. But we have our basic economy in place. How are they still not getting maintained? Oh, because, yeah, we don't have an actual maintenance shop here. That is true. You know what? I'm going to put one at the other end over here as well. 21! Oh, we need 25! Oh, god damn it. So close. Actually, there's something to be said. Let's buy Yeah, buy a share on margin just to buff our price. Oh, we can't actually right now. There's something to be said about building an extra brewery down here, because we've got one, right? They came with one. Yeah, right here. But they have tons of grain, and so if we did drop another brewery, it would increase the price of grain that much more, and really encourage more of it to get shipped down here. There's not that much grain waiting there. It's mostly going on its own. That's so annoying. There's an argument to be made about like building a brewery in these cities to encourage grain to go there, and a lot of it will still get picked up. Recession ahead. Recessions are bad. I might just want to upgrade this station, just so that more grain is actually in the ratio, because it looks like it's not piling up here, so I think that's what we want to do. Whatever, we got the money. Now, there's 4, there we go. Now there's more units of grain actually available. So that's interesting. So the station covers whatever happens to be in the radius at the time. Nothing, things don't specifically pile up there. They just happen to normally do it in the city. So by increasing the radius, we are going to be capturing more stuff. Okay, boom, 8.4 units of grain sitting around there. Good. We're in hard times right now. Potentially wouldn't want to be issuing as many stock here, because our stock price is dropping because of the economy. But I think it's still okay right now. So I'm still considering building that second brewery over here, but I don't know. Aluminum mill near Des Moines. Oh, so they're going to want bauxite, which we can get nowhere. Oh, way over here. That aluminum mill is never, ever, ever going to turn a profit. Ever. It'll actually go out of business at some point. New locomotive, the Pacific 462. Slightly more expensive, still looks sharp. Definitely much faster. We're definitely going to want to do some bulk upgrades of our trains here. There we go. Those are some grain deliveries. Good. Okay. Just a little bit hilly, not much. So the question is brewery or expand? Both things are going to be mega, mega profitable. What? The Austrian Prince Ferdinand was assassinated? There's going to be a war in Europe? Who would have ever thought something like that would happen in 1914? Certainly not me. We're taking the expansion route. Alright, so a world war is beginning. The Great Lakes Confederation and Florida's sympathies lie with Germany and Austria. New England, Dixie, and Louisiana are sympathetic to Britain and France. Choosing a side will mean harming relations with some counties and improving relations with others. Remaining neutral will cause a slight downgrade to your relations with all interested nations. We are going to make a straw poll here. Get ready, the link is going to be in the chat real soon. What choice? Britain plus France, Germany plus Austria, neutral, or no public declaration. Create poll, grab that, get here, paste in chat, like that. So here's what we got to remember too. So Great Lakes Confederation and Florida. So that's up here and down there would be happy / pissed. New England, Dixie, and Louisiana. So here's the situation. Like, does it make more sense to go in to be friendly with who we're about to go into first? Because that would be Louisiana and Dixie is who we're going to be entering into a relationship with sooner, because we're going to go east. And so should we suck up to them? On the other hand, if we're going to be improving relations with them sooner by shipping goods back and forth to them, maybe we can afford to piss them off, because we're going to be sucking up to them in different ways. Or maybe people are just going to, pick stuff just because they feel like whatever. that could happen too. Overwhelmingly, people want publicly declaring support of Germany and Austria. And I think that's probably strategically the stronger move, because I think we're going to be sucking up to the others, to Dixie and Louisiana certainly, and clearly we'll have to go into New England sooner rather than later and ship them loads and make them happy, because we're going to piss them off a little bit here. All right, go Germany and Austria! You totally have this world war in your hands. I'm fully confident that you are going to be victorious. So repair shop, water, more water over here. Get a train going back and forth there. And then into Dallas. Quite hilly. I don't know if there's a way for us to like totally avoid the hills. Not totally, but that's not bad. Oh, not enough cash. But we'll get some in a second. There we are. Another water stop sort of over here. And then we need 120k. So go from Dallas to Oklahoma City. Bam. Shipping some cheese and meat and diesel around. Good. Now hopefully we're shipping lots of grain now. I think we are. I'm pretty confident that we are offloading lots of grain. Oh, this is actually shipping between Tulsa and Oklahoma City, which actually I think is okay. Damn it, only 20 loads. You've been approached by a private company. They've developed a new fertilizer which will increase the output of grain and corn farms at 25%. For a one-time cost of $1 million, they will make this fertilizer available to you. Let's straw poll it. Fertilizer? Poll. Are we going to accept this? We don't quite have $1 million. We'll go into debt for a little bit, but we should be okay. It's fine. I'm thinking the answer will be yes. A lot of stuff to ship. We can make our brewery that much more profitable. Oh yeah, very yes. All right. Let's do it. Boom. Huge debt, but that's okay. Still turning a profit overall. Issue some stocks. We're still in recession. Who cares? We're not going to do the bond thing, though. 12% would be very high. We're almost out of the hole already. Economy back on track. So I think that means normal. Yes, it is. Good. And it sucks that we just sold stock now, or issued stock now. But them's the brakes. So yeah, we can still drop off the grain in Tulsa and then just ship it all over in here. And I think that would still count as progress, which is good. There you go. Dallas to Houston is going to be fantastic. Really big cities, lots of passenger traffic. Actually, let's take a look at our income statement. Yeah, we're still making most of our money from freight, which is to be expected. Our industry profit. What do we actually own industry-wise? I don't even remember. Train crash. Let's put in another Pacific. Yeah, what do we own? Oh, right, we bought our meat packing plant, derp derp, which needs to be upgraded because it keeps hitting its maximum. I mean, it's making money, but it should be making a lot more. All right, I forgot about that. I should have actually prioritized upgrading the meat plant sooner because it's got tons to process. I don't think I'll build a second one here. 48 loads of grain. There we go. Crushed it. New England strained. Dixie strained. Great Lakes Confederation good. Wait, I'm confused. Shouldn't Dixie... Oh, right, no, we pissed them off. That makes sense. One of these others should be kind of pissy as well, shouldn't it? Louisiana strained. There we go. Couldn't tell. We got a pay raise. Tell you what, I will buy some stock. We can get 9%. Issue stock. Upgrade this bad boy. Consistently make huge amounts of cash for us. Alrighty. Would like to get that brewery on board. Now that we know we're shipping enough grain back and forth to progress, I want the brewery. And then what we're going to want to do is open up Louisiana over here and start to see what they want exactly. Yeah, brewery for money, 750,000 to open up Louisiana. Expand. I like it. I mean, going further down here is good, but I think opening these guys and starting to work on the relationship is good. We're going to obviously go and expand down to Houston, Austin, San Antonio for sure. Big cities. Lubbock is going to be pretty good too in terms of size. Amarillo. And I mean, they have like, they have things too. Dairy farms, meat packing plant that's already been upgraded. That's interesting. Yeah, I was going to say it's probably making a killing, yeah. So we need $2 million for the brewery. Oh, only 24 loads of grain? The hell? Are you serious? Such a waste. God damn. Price of grain here. 62, and over here. I mean, it's definitely higher. But it's not even necessarily that higher. Like, even Kansas City is, like, hovering about 59, 60. It might not be shipping that much there. Oh, yeah, and it's down to the 50s here. Oh, yeah, we're not even shipping that much grain internally. Which, because I think that would count. What are we at? Prosperity? 6% bond? Okay, well, we don't need it quite yet, but we probably will. I think we're going to build a lot of breweries in the south. I think we might build one in every town. Because the problem is we're just not keeping the price of grain high enough. I mean, normally I wouldn't build a brewery here. Normally I would be building it right here. Because that would be the hugest profit, but then I wouldn't be shipping the grain. So this is going to increase the price of grain. We're definitely going to do an upgrade as soon as we got the cash, which won't take long. Just so there's massive demand for it over here. Plus there's a lot of grain in the general area, so it should get supplied pretty easily. A lot of it is still auto shipping, which is driving me crazy. Boom times is good. Hey, Zenuel, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate the support. So, oh no! That would have been bad. 5% loans, that's what I'm talking about. 5%. 5%, 5%, 5%. Cancel. Pay off the 7s. Upgrade this brewery. Price of grain. Oh, bordering on 70, which is good. Man, stupid auto traffic. Yeah. Like, our company is, like, hugely profitable, but... Let's go Tulsa down to Dallas. Hopefully some grain will get picked up there as well. Not yet, but that's okay. And probably build a brewery down here. There's a bit of a grain sink, but that's all. And all together... Yeah, see, the price of grain is a little higher here, so we actually should get shipments of grain. Apparently it wasn't quite profitable enough. Maybe I have to make more grain-specific trains. It's a fun thing to say. Let's do it. Your job is simply to ship grain back and forth. In any direction. Yeah, look at that. No profit to be made. Kansas City to Dallas. You can ship anything. It's fine. Just be profitable. But we're going to put a brewery down here. Harder to make a profit on those industries. But, I mean, they will be supplied, ultimately. We will get shipments down there. It will create a massive demand. A big grain black hole. Because these guys, that's the problem. These guys are too well supplied. What do we have here? The H10-282. Wow, really good for freight. And still looks sharp. It's like immune to any sort of like cliffs and hills and things. Alright, let's expand into Louisiana and then see what they want. Welcome to Louisiana, capital New Orleans, official language French. When Dixie began their war to gain independence from England in the 1860s, things didn't go well. The Loyalists of New England had more men, more resources, and the backing of the British, and Dixie quickly found itself on the defensive. Dixie turned to France, long enemies of the English. As further enticement to bring the French into the war on their side, Dixie promised the French control of Louisiana, the territory on their western borders, which remained largely ungoverned. With the backing of the French, Dixie turned the tide of the war, and in 1867 gained their independence. The French took control of Louisiana. French control was to be short-lived, however. The people of Louisiana, unhappy with the lack of support from the French, who had focused most of their attention on their less distant holdings in Africa, declared independence from the French in 1884. The declaration was not opposed by the French. In order to improve relations with Louisiana, you must deliver at least 20 loads of corn each year. If you don't deliver at least one load of corn, relations will worsen. So you need at least one, and ideally up to 20. Well, we'll see what we can do. Alright, bring me monies. This is going to be a really, really hard scenario. They are not kidding. Again, making money, like financially we're fine. Completing these quests? This is going to be ridiculous. Alright, we're going to get a pair of trains. One going in each direction here. I'm actually shipping corn away from St. Louis. It's kind of the opposite of my quest. So everything on the right side of the river is something else. This is the Great Lakes Confederation. This is Dixie. So Memphis is in Dixie. Little Rock is in Louisiana, though, which is where we are. Goddamn grain. And no corn. Oh, it actually worsened. We shouldn't have joined in at the end of the year. We should have done it right at the beginning. Salary increases are all good and fine, but if I lose the quest... We can get plenty of 5% bonds, though. Ooh, hilly. There's not really any way to get around it. You can sort of come around here. Oh, we need more money. Roosevelt dies! Country of Roosevelt thrown into turmoil. Right, okay. Right, there's the actual country of Roosevelt. I forgot about that. So we got dairy farms. Warehouse for livestock. Alright, let's take a look at the grain situation here. Two candidates have emerged to take over leadership of Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt, cousin of the late Theodore Roosevelt, and Herbert Hoover. While you can't influence the vote directly, your company can send a donation of $1 million to support the efforts of one of the candidates. If your guy wins, relations with Roosevelt will go up. If he loses, they will go down. What's it going to be? Alright, I guess we need another straw poll. I also need to... Actually, we're going to take a short pause, and we'll deal with the chat as well at the same time here. Who to pay? Roosevelt? Hoover? No one. Boom. I mean, I keep thinking that, like, it's got Roosevelt's name on it. So maybe we should do that. Let's see what the straw poll says. Roosevelt looks like it's going to win pretty handily at a 2-for-1 ratio. 50% going to Roosevelt, 25% both to no one and to Hoover. So Roosevelt it is. Hopefully he wins. We're going to do a quick save here. USA-1. We're going to pause the game. And we are going to take a short break. And because I don't know how to do that with OBS, I don't have alternate scenes set up. Hang on, let me add a scene. Alright, everything's gone black. Oh no! Everybody panic!